Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. We got two videos kind of late today and back to back. Sorry about that. We are running late, just back. It's a bank holiday weekend, so just back home. But that we got trick-or-treaters coming around as well. I think we've had two groups calling in. My girlfriend has been answering the door. She's managed to make one of them scream. The other one didn't. So 50% success rate. Pretty good. But no, what we're looking at here today, guys, faction tournaments coming to the game. I think it's actually really interesting, right? That Raid are doing something different, which is a surprise. This reminds me a lot of the Deadwoodjedi faction games. And in fact, I recommend you guys go check that out if you want some inspiration for teams to use for this. Basically what's happening, they're going to be running a series of special tournaments that will require you to use specific factions. I actually just recorded a video, which is going to be an Ice Golem tournament with the Galen Pact, which is like an entire set of 4 factions. That actually starts tomorrow and is not part of this event. This one is going to be only champions from the Corrupted Alliance, which I actually think is probably the strongest set of 4 factions. Demon Spawn, Undead Hordes, Dark Elves, and Knights Revenant. The interesting thing, though, is you get to choose which one of those factions goes to which dungeon. So we're going to go check that out in a second. You can only pick one faction for each dungeon, and you can't pick them more than once. So it's really like just slot them into the place. And yeah, you can vote, and then they're going to be live. The poll is active from today until Thursday. And then, Thursday is when the first tournament starts off. Thursday until Sunday, Fire Night. Sunday 13th to 16th is going to be Spider's Den. The 16th to 19th is Dragons. And then the 19th to 22nd is going to be Ice Golem. So it's really going to be running for quite a while. And then Classic Arena, this one's also really cool. From Friday 11th of November to Thursday the 17th, you have to use the Corrupted Alliance in there. This is very, very spicy. We'll jump over to the page in a second. I actually think this is really cool. The important thing is that they need to have like really good rewards. That's the point. Because this stuff is hard, right? Doing Ice Golem with only one of these factions, that's really difficult. So there needs to be good rewards. But I do think that this and this sort of thing in Arena is what I would like to see more from the game in the future. It's obviously, it's hard to get into, so for a brand new player, that's really tough. But for someone that's been playing the game for quite a while, it gives you a reason to build up a lot more champions. It makes a lot more champions viable. I think it's really fun. It's something I'd like to see in the future with Arena as well. Instead of just having all the same champions all the time, it would be cool to be like, it's rares only in Arena this week. It's like an optional arena mode. You can either play it the classic way or do like rares only for arena this week. And if you do the rares only and you participate enough, you get some really cool rewards, like maybe a skin for a rare champion or something, like something actually pretty quality. So we'll see if they do that. Probably not. It's probably going to be terrible rewards. Let's be real, but we can hope. Anyway, let's not speculate too much on that. Let's talk about this. Which factions would we actually choose for this? Which ones would we actually choose? So, Dragon Slayer, I think, is very easy. Now, when it comes to the Spider's Den, for that we need AoE HP burn, and that is fairly limited, actually. It's fairly limited. So, Knights Revenant could actually be a very good option for this, because we do have Drang, right? So, Drang opens up that AoE HP burn, but if you don't have Drang, I don't believe they don't have another burner, as far as I'm aware, right? So, it becomes much, much more difficult without Drang. So that's kind of a question mark. He was a fusion this year, so that could open it up, but they're not absolutely fantastic. Dark Elves for Spider. Again, they don't really have a burner, but they do have in the rare category, they do have Cold Heart. So it does open up the possibility of Lydia plus 4 Cold Hearts and you just one-shot Spider 20. I think that's a strong possibility. In the Undead Hordes, Crypt King gives you an AoE burn, but he's legendary. In terms of epics, again, I don't believe they have one. So Undead is looking pretty dodgy to me for most players. You do have the Husk option for nuking, but that's, again, really difficult to make it work. Demon Spawn is the other good option. So I'm looking at really Demon Spawn or that. The reason being that Akoth, you do get him from Doom Tower. Now, you need to play for quite a while, but this does open up a good Spider team as well with HP burn. You can bring in like Achak to freeze, although he's bad affinity for stage 20. They could even do almost stage 25 or 24 or something. You could probably make it work. With the Skimfos for turn meter control, it might work. Term control is a little bit more difficult there, but at least you also have the option of Drexlar gives you an option. There's Tyrant for AoE burns. So yeah, Sissia of course for Spider. So it's definitely kind of a tricky call. This for me. So let's do a notepad it up. So Spider is gonna be well, we could do Knight's Rev. Let's say Dark Elf is probably my favorite, or Demon Spawn I think is a good one. Okay. Fire Knight then, that's also quite tricky. So we come to Fire Knight. Demon Spawn has a lure, so that's by default a really good option. So Demon Spawn, Crew Trax is great for that too. We've got plenty of nukers. So Fire Knight, I'd say Demon Spawn looks strong. It's actually the exact same two look strong because Cold Heart is also extremely good. Cold Heart just really carries everything. Fire Knight or Demon Spawn. Undead, how do they look for Fire Knight? Not particularly appealing. We don't have like an AoE decreased defense. In terms of turn meter control, that's easy to get. There's Vlad, but he was from last year, which was a really long time ago. Obviously, Morrigan would be good, but we don't have her yet. Will we have her on time? Maybe, but you might not be going for her. I think they look pretty weak for this. I'm actually gonna just call it right now. I think Undead goes into Dragon. I think Dragon's perfect. You got Husk for nuking. You got Dark Elhane is a really good nuker for that, and then you've got Frozen Banshee to kill the boss. So I think that I'd actually put them into Dragon for sure. It's going to be Undead for me, and then actually Ice Golem coming up. For Ice Golem, we really want poisons. Are really good for that. I actually think Knight's Revenant are very good, but it does depend on you having the legendaries, right? But Narma, Tomb Lord, Calvalax, Theodore, they're very strong for this. Even just Verself and going in with the tanky team, you know? But that's relying on legendaries, which is tricky. But yeah, I think all three of these legendaries here, and maybe even Calvalax can solo stage 20. Drang maybe can solo stage 20, and nearly everyone will have Drang. So I think that's a strong option. In terms of the epics, I think Whisper, you could actually kill the boss pretty quick. Good wave clear there with Skull Crown. You've got the Revive at Rector, can probably build her tanky enough. The waves are definitely more sketchy for sure if you only have epic. So this is kind of a tricky one. I'm going to say Ice Golem for me is Knight's Rev, but I can really understand if you didn't like it. I actually ran Knight's Rev and won the Ice Golem part of faction games, so I like them, but it does depend on the legendary, so it's tricky. But yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with that. Spider, Fire Knight, how do we split it? So Demon Spawn for Spider versus Fire Knight. How quick can they kill the Fire Knight? Probably pretty darn quick, to be honest. Decreased defense, we've got Gorlos, he's the right affinity. Yeah, I think I'm going to run these guys for Fire Knight. So that's how I'm going to do it. I'm splitting it like this. So Fire Knight, I'm saying Demon Spawn for Fire Knight. For Spider's Den, I'm saying Dark Elves. The Cold Heart is easy to do, but you could swap those. I think Knight's Rev for this one. I think Dragon's there. I think Undead. Dragon's there is really easy. Plus Frozen Banshee, so that makes it just a super easy one. But yeah, that's how I'm spinning it up. I'm going to split it up like that. I'm curious to see what you guys think. It's an interesting question, isn't it? It is interesting. I think my most notorious pick could be... yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe Knight's Rev over here. I think Knight's Rev is the faction that probably people could struggle with the most because they're the most legendary reliant. Dark Elves are obviously extremely legendary heavy as well. And you probably don't have Dark Kael. Or if you do have Dark Kael, it makes it easy. But, you know, the Mithrala, the Vizix, the Lydia, once you get those, they're more later in the game, though. But I think Cold Heart really just brings it through. I think just stacking Cold Hearts. If you don't have a Cold Heart, though, Spider is almost impossible. I don't know what you would do. I'm going to go with it, though. That's why this would be my preference. So that's what I'm voting for. But let us know in the comments down below. And people could try to look at the comments and vote for what most people would find helpful, which I think is the best thing. But yeah, what do we think of this event? For me, I think this is cool. I think this is really fun. It's a really fun thing to add into the game. I want to see more of this stuff if there's good rewards to go with it, because I think it's great. Yeah, I think if there's fun rewards, if there's a fun reason to do it, again, you could have cool stuff like cool portraits, cool champion skins. They could add new cosmetic types to the game. You could have a whole bunch of really fun things in there that are fun to collect. You could even drop some champions. You could drop fragments for stuff. You could drop interesting gear sets, like the old Forge Pass stuff, you know? You could throw in a whole bunch of really cool things to make these sort of optional, difficult tournaments something that's actually kind of cool to invest in and to work towards and be like a rewarding game mode. We'll see. We'll see. I think it's at least a step in the right direction. Guys, thank you for watching. Hope that you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.